Historic houses are windows to the past, carrying the whispers, laughter, and secrets of generations. But in America, some historic homes hide far darker secrets. Ghosts of past residents linger in hallways, rooms, and staircases. Visitors have reported cold drafts in empty rooms, doors slamming on their own, and shadowy figures appearing when the sun sets. Tonight, we step into 20 of the most haunted historic houses across the United States, where tragedy, mystery, and the supernatural intertwine, and the past refuses to rest. Historic houses are more than architectural marvels. They are silent witnesses to the lives of those who lived and died within their walls. Across America, many historic houses have stories of lingering spirits. Some are tied to murders, untimely deaths, or tragic events that left emotional scars. Visitors report hearing footsteps in empty hallways, whispering voices when no one is present, and seeing apparitions in mirrors or windows. Imagine walking through a grand hallway at dusk. The light flickers from an old chandelier, casting eerie shadows across the walls. A door creaks open slowly, and a cold draft brushes your neck. You hear soft whispers calling your name, footsteps echoing behind you, yet when you turn, nothing is there. As we explore these 20 haunted historic houses, picture dimly lit rooms, flickering lights, and the weight of countless stories embedded in the wood and stone. Before we step into our first haunted house, ask yourself if you saw a ghostly figure staring at you from the top of a staircase. Would you approach or run? The Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California, is a sprawling, labyrinthine mansion unlike any other. Its endless corridors, staircases that rise to nowhere, and doors that open into walls create an atmosphere that is as disorienting as it is fascinating. Visitors often feel as if they have stepped into a world where logic is suspended and the ordinary rules of architecture do not apply. Every corner of the house seems to hold a story, some hidden, some whispered through the creaking floorboards and drafty halls. Some hidden, some whispered through the creaking floorboards and drafty halls. As one moves through the mansion, the air itself seems charged with the weight of history. Cold drafts sweep along narrow passageways, and the faintest sound of footsteps echoes in rooms long abandoned. Guests have described the sensation of being watched, a presence hovering just beyond the edge of perception. In dimly lit chambers, shadows play tricks on the eyes, and what seems like a misplaced reflection or a passing visitor can turn into the outline of an apparition. The house's complex design is central to its mysterious reputation. Staircases lead to ceilings, doors open into brick walls, and hallways twist unexpectedly. This architectural maze creates both confusion and intrigue, a physical manifestation of the stories that have surrounded the mansion for decades. Those who walk its halls often report a heightened sense of awareness, as though the house itself is alive, responding to each movement, each breath, each step taken within its walls. Many visitors have experienced phenomena that cannot easily be explained. Cold spots appear and disappear, often in areas where no air currents should reach. Doors swing open or close on their own, and the sound of unseen footsteps can be heard on stairs that no one is walking. Some guests have reported feeling the touch of unseen hands on their shoulders or arms, a subtle yet unmistakable reminder that this house is inhabited by more than just memories. The dim lighting inside the Winchester Mystery House enhances its eerie ambience. Others describe hearing soft whispers, unintelligible but distinct, as if the walls themselves are trying to communicate with those who enter. Exploring the house requires both patience and curiosity. Narrow passageways lead to large open chambers, and small hidden doors open to stairwells that climb to empty spaces. The layout seems deliberately confusing, a reflection of the mansione's mysterious history and the life of its original owner. This complexity contributes to the feeling that the house exists not just as a building, but as an entity with a presence of its own. One that has absorbed the energy of those who have walked its halls before. Visitors frequently report a sense of time shifting within the house. Hours can feel like minutes, and familiar rooms can suddenly seem unfamiliar. The Mansione's peculiar architecture, combined with its long history, creates an environment where reality feels suspended. Many find themselves pausing in hallways, listening intently for sounds that are both ordinary and extraordinary. Every creak of wood, every sudden change in temperature, adds to the sense that the house holds secrets still waiting to be discovered. The stories of apparitions are numerous. Some see figures moving silently through the rooms, often dressed in period clothing that reflects the mansion's past. Others sense presences near windows or staircases, where the air grows noticeably colder. These experiences are not violent or frightening in a traditional sense, but they leave a profound impression, a sense that the history of the house continues to inhabit the space. The Winchester Mystery House also has a psychological impact on visitors. Its unusual design, combined with the reported paranormal activity, encourages heightened perception. People notice details they might otherwise overlook, the way light falls across a hallway, the shifting of shadows along the floor, or the sensation of being gently guided down a corridor. The house challenges expectations and invites exploration, blending architectural wonder with an atmosphere of suspense and mystery. Walking through the mansion at night amplifies its enigmatic presence. The quiet is punctuated only by distant creaks and the occasional whisper of wind through broken windows. Shadows lengthen and shift, creating the illusion of movement where there is none. Visitors report a sense of being followed or observed, yet when they turn, the halls remain empty. This ongoing interplay between perception and reality is central to the house's mystique, making each visit a unique experience. The combination of architectural peculiarity, historical weight, and unexplained phenomena makes the Winchester Mystery House a compelling sight for those drawn to the mysterious and the unknown. Each room offers the potential for a new encounter, each hallway a new story. For many, the house is not merely a historical landmark but a living narrative, a place where the past is ever present and the unseen whispers through every wall, corridor, and stairwell. By the end of a visit, it becomes clear that the Winchester Mystery House is more than the sum of its parts. Its endless rooms, unexpected staircases, and ghostly presence create an immersive experience that engages both the senses and the imagination. Visitors leave with the feeling that the mansion has shared a fragment of its history, and perhaps a glimpse of the unknown that continues to dwell within its walls, unseen yet undeniably present. The Myrtles Plantation, nestled in St. Francisville, Louisiana, stands as one of the oldest homes in the region. Built in the 1790s, its stately columns and sprawling grounds tell the story of an era long past. Yet beneath its elegant FAA's Section A lies a history marked by tragedy and whispered tales that have endured for centuries. The plantation has seen generations pass through its halls, and some believe the echoes of those lives remain, lingering in the corners and corridors where shadows stretch and light falters. Visitors to the Myrtles often remark on an unsettling feeling upon entering the property. The air seems heavier, thick with a presence that cannot be seen but is somehow felt. Footsteps echo along the wooden floors where no one walks, and doors appear to move on their own, opening and closing without cause. Some report catching glimpses of figures in period clothing, moving silently through the hallways or standing still in the soft glow of candlelight. Children, too, have been seen wandering the rooms, their small forms appearing and vanishing like mist. The plantation's grounds contribute to the eerie atmosphere. Ancient oak trees draped with Spanish moss sway gently in the Louisiana breeze, casting long shadows that dance across the pathways. Guests walking in the garden sometimes feel sudden chills, or the sensation of being watched from just beyond sight. Whispers seem to ride the wind, soft and elusive, carrying fragments of conversations from another time. The air carries a weight of sorrow and mystery, a subtle reminder that the land itself has witnessed countless lives and untimely deaths. Inside the house, the stories grow even more vivid. Visitors have described shadowy figures near the grand staircase, their forms indistinct yet unmistakably human. The furniture sometimes shifts slightly, as though moved by unseen hands. And faint sounds of laughter, crying, or the soft patter of small feet can be heard when no one is present. The presence of children is particularly noted, their appearances fleeting yet leaving a lingering impression of innocence touched by tragedy. The Myrtles plantation is also famous for certain rooms where activity is most commonly reported. In the hallways and bedrooms, lights flicker without cause, and objects occasionally fall or shift inexplicably. Some have reported glimpsing women standing silently by windows, watching the grounds, their eyes reflecting a sadness that cannot be spoken. The sense of being observed is pervasive, a subtle pressure on the mind and senses that reminds visitors they are not truly alone. The plantation's rich history is intertwined with these accounts. Built during a time when the region was marked by both wealth and hardship. It witnessed the lives of families, servants, and workers who experienced love, joy, and loss. Many of these lives ended in sorrow, leaving behind a resonance that some believe remains etched into the very walls. Each creak of the floor, each flicker of shadow, and each sudden chill seems to carry with it a story waiting to be discovered. Even the atmosphere outside the house contributes to its haunted reputation. The surrounding fields and gardens, once meticulously maintained, now hold the quiet of centuries past. Visitors strolling among the moss-draped trees sometimes see fleeting shapes moving just at the edge of vision. The soft rustle of leaves can sound like whispers. And the setting sun casts shadows that seem to reach out, elongating and twisting in ways that feel unnatural. The combination of history, architecture, and environment creates a tapestry of tension and curiosity for all who enter. Despite the unsettling reports, many are drawn to the Myrtles plantation by its beauty and its stories. Guided tours and overnight stays allow visitors to explore both the elegance of its construction and the mysteries that inhabit it. Those who remain after dark often recount the sensation of cold spots, the sound of footsteps in empty rooms, or the fleeting glimpse of figures that disappear when fully observed. The house holds these moments quietly, revealing them to the patient and the observant, leaving a sense of connection to a past that refuses to be forgotten. The Myrtles plantation is more than a historic home. It is a repository of memory, a place where the line between past and present feels thin. Visitors leave with a mix of awe and unease, carrying with them the stories of those who once walked the halls, laughed in the gardens, and lingered in the shadows. It is a place where history lives, not only in books and records, but in the quiet manifestations of lives long gone, inviting all who enter to witness the enduring presence of the plantation's many secrets. Walking through the Myrtles plantation, one cannot help but feel the weight of time, the resonance of joy and sorrow, and the unmistakable sense that some residents of this house never truly left. Their stories continue to play out in soft footsteps, moving shadows, and the faint echo of voices carried through the halls. Each visitor becomes a part of the ongoing tale, sharing a space where history and the supernatural intertwine, and where the past is never truly silent. Adams, Tennessee holds a story that has persisted for over 2 centuries. A tale of shadows, whispers, and inexplicable events that have captured the imagination of generations. The Bell Witch House, located on a quiet stretch of land surrounded by forests and fields, is at the center of one of the most infamous hauntings in American history. Visitors to the property report a presence that is both unsettling and magnetic. A force that seems to linger long after the sun has set. Approaching the house, the air feels heavier, and the atmosphere shifts subtly. The old wooden structure, weathered by time, stands quietly amid the overgrown yard. Despite its age and decay, the house carries an energy that draws attention to details most would overlook. Windows reflect movement that is not present, shadows stretch in impossible directions, and a sudden chill often passes through the rooms, sharp and unmistakable. A sudden chill often passes through the rooms, sharp and unmistakable. Inside, the history of the Bell family echoes in every corner. Reports from the 19th century describe disturbances that ranged from disembodied voices to objects moving on their own. Modern visitors still sense these phenomena, feeling cold drafts that appear without reason, hearing footsteps along creaking floors when no one is present, and glimpsing figures at the edge of their vision. These experiences are not violent but profoundly mysterious, leaving those present with a sense of curiosity and awe. The house seems alive with memory, as if it retains the essence of the people who once lived there. Shadows appear along hallways, shifting and stretching as if observing the living. Voices, faint and disjointed, carry through empty rooms, repeating words that are hard to decipher. The sensation of being watched is pervasive, an awareness that something unseen is present, patient, and deliberate. It is an energy that has persisted for generations, bridging the gap between history and the present. Visitors often describe sudden changes in temperature, spots of cold that move with intention. A chair may shift slightly, a door may creak open without warning. And objects sometimes seem to vanish only to reappear moments later. These events are subtle, almost imperceptible, but their cumulative effect is powerful. The Bell Witch House does not confront aggressively, it lingers, observes, and leaves an impression that is difficult to ignore. The surrounding landscape contributes to the atmosphere. And the isolation enhances the sense of being outside the ordinary flow of time. At night the moon casts long distorted shadows that play across the house and yard. The wind rustles through the trees carrying faint sounds that could be anything or nothing. Within this setting the house feels like a living entity breathing alongside the land and whispering stories that cannot be fully understood. Historical accounts describe interactions that seem impossible. The Bell Witch reportedly spoke, taunted, and manipulated her surroundings with an intelligence that was chilling for the time. Today, visitors feel a similar presence, a consciousness that acknowledges their presence while remaining just beyond reach. Whether glimpsed in a shadow, heard in a whisper, or sensed in a sudden chill, the entity seems aware and curious, drawing the living into its narrative. Exploring the house, each room tells a story. Floors creak in patterns that suggest footsteps following a rhythm, while corners often conceal movement that vanishes when approached. And the faint smell of earth and wood lingers, blending past and present. The house communicates without words, through sensations and fleeting glimpses, leaving an impression that is profound and enduring. Visitors leave with a heightened awareness of the unseen. The Bell Witch House is not only a relic of history but a living mystery. A location where the ordinary and extraordinary converge. Every creak, whisper, and shadow tells a story, inviting curiosity and reflection. As if the house itself preserves a dialogue between the world of the living and the echoes of what came before. Adams, Tennessee, and the Bell Witch House continue to captivate the imagination. Shadows, voices, and chills persist, drawing those who are open to the unknown into an encounter with history and the unexplained. Walking the halls, stepping into the rooms, and standing in the yard evokes a sense of continuity, a reminder that the past has not fully departed. The Bell Witch endures, a presence both mysterious and unforgettable, leaving each visitor with a lasting impression of a haunting that transcends time. The Lizzie Borden House in Fall River, Massachusetts stands as a grim monument to one of the most infamous cases in American history. Built in the late 19th century, the home is remembered for the violent events that unfolded within its walls. The house itself is a large, stately Victorian structure, with numerous rooms that once held the routines of a family now immortalized in infamy. Walking through its hallways today, one cannot escape the weight of its past, nor the stories that continue to linger in its spaces. Visitors to the house often speak of an uncanny atmosphere, a subtle tension that seems to permeate the rooms. Cold spots appear without warning, sometimes brushing against the skin with a chill that has no source. The air can feel heavier in certain areas, particularly in rooms associated with the tragic events. These sensations create an immediate awareness of the house's dark history, as if the walls themselves remember and react to the presence of those who step inside. Apparitions have been reported throughout the house. Some claim to see the figure of Lizzie Borden herself, standing silently in corners or at the top of staircases, her presence fleeting yet distinct. Other figures, less identifiable, have appeared in the hallways and bedrooms, moving as if engaged in routines long past. Shadows flicker in peripheral vision, sometimes disappearing when directly observed. The atmosphere is charged with an intensity that is subtle but persistent, leaving visitors with the feeling that history is very much alive within these walls. The rooms where the murders occurred are particularly noted for strange activity. The bedrooms, with their preserved furniture and period copyright COR, seem to hold echoes of the past. Visitors often report hearing faint creaking floorboards or whispers that cannot be explained. Objects have been seen to shift slightly, doors may move on their own, and chairs sometimes appear to be displaced without reason. These occurrences are never violent or threatening, yet they contribute to a pervasive sense of unease, a reminder of the house's dark legacy. Exploring the house is a study in contrasts. The architecture is elegant and the rooms well maintained, yet the air is thick with tension and expectation. There is a rhythm to the experience, a way the house communicates through subtle sensations, temperature changes, and unexplained movements. Each hallway and staircase seems to carry its own story, inviting visitors to sense what is left behind by those who once walked these floors. The presence of the past is tangible, almost as if time within the house flows differently, allowing shadows and echoes to linger long after their origin. Guests often remark on the emotional weight of the home. It is not only the history of the murders that makes the house compelling, but the atmosphere that has persisted for over a century. The energy is quiet and patient, manifesting in fleeting glimpses, sudden chills, and a sense that one is being watched by eyes unseen. The house becomes a space where curiosity and apprehension coexist, each step encouraging reflection on both the events that took place and the human responses to such tragedy. Even the exterior of the Lizzie Borden house holds a sense of foreboding. The surrounding garden and pathways, though maintained, seem to echo the isolation and secrecy that characterized the household during Lizzie Borden's time. The environment reinforces the experience inside, creating a seamless sense of history and mystery that engages visitors on both a visual and sensory level. Guided tours and personal explorations alike offer opportunities to engage with the house's stories. Visitors report feeling a presence in rooms without movement or sound, and some have described sensations of being observed when alone. The combination of historical narrative and unexplained phenomena creates a powerful experience, blending curiosity with an understanding of the human capacity to imprint upon spaces. The house itself becomes a storyteller, its walls offering insights not only into past events but into the lingering energy that remains. The Lizzie Borden house continues to captivate and intrigue. Its reputation as a site of haunting is inseparable from the history of the Borden family and the tragic murders that defined the property. The experiences of visitors, cold spots, fleeting apparitions, and strange sensations serve as reminders that history is not confined to books and records, but can persist in physical spaces. Each encounter with the house is unique, shaped by the observer's presence, the time of day, and the subtle movements of the air and shadows. Walking through the Lizzie Borden house is an immersive journey into the past, a chance to feel the weight of history in a tangible way. The structure, the rooms, and the hallways speak through subtle cues, guiding visitors to sense the layers of time that linger. Shadowy figures, cold spots, and unexplained movements create an atmosphere that is both mysterious and deeply human, offering a connection to events that occurred over a century ago. The house endures as a place where history and the unexplained converge, leaving an impression that stays with those who enter its walls long after they leave. In Fall River, Massachusetts, the Lizzie Borden House stands as a testament to both tragedy and enduring fascination. Its preserved rooms and architecture provide a window into a specific moment in history, while its ghostly activity ensures that the past remains vividly present. For those willing to explore and observe, the house offers an experience that is as unsettling as it is compelling. A continuous narrative of human presence, loss, and lingering echoes that make the story of the Lizzie Borden House both timeless and unforgettable. The house on Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York, is known worldwide for the dark events that occurred within its walls. In the 1970s, a horrific tragedy unfolded here, leaving a permanent mark on the community and the home itself. Visitors often speak of a heavy atmosphere that lingers, a sense of unease that is difficult to shake. The house seems to retain the memory of the past, its rooms carrying an energy that is at once compelling and unnerving. As one approaches the home, the exterior appears deceptively normal. The classic suburban facade belies the unsettling history contained inside. Those who step through the front door frequently report an immediate change in sensation. The air can feel dense, almost charged, and sudden cold drafts sweep through the hallways, moving unpredictably without any clear source. Some describe the feeling of being watched, a presence that shifts just beyond the edge of perception, observing silently from darkened corners. Inside the house, shadows play across walls in ways that seem unnatural. Visitors report seeing figures dart across hallways or appear at the edge of a room, only to vanish when approached. Lights flicker without warning, casting eerie glows that illuminate the familiar in strange and unsettling ways. The house seems to react to movement, a living entity attuned to the people within it. Footsteps echo on floors even when the rooms are empty, and doors may creak open or close of their own accord. Paranormal investigators who have entered the home frequently describe intense feelings of anxiety and apprehension. Recording devices often pick up sounds that are difficult to explain, from low, guttural noises to sudden bangs or knocks that reverberate through the structure. Some visitors feel pressure on their shoulders or sense a shift in the air around them, as though invisible eyes are tracking their every movement. The energy within the house is said to be highly reactive, responding unpredictably to those who enter. The bedrooms and living areas are particularly notorious for reports of strange activity. Lights may glow suddenly, or shadows appear in the periphery of vision. Some describe hearing whispers in empty rooms, voices too soft to understand but distinct in their presence. The atmosphere is suffused with tension, making it difficult to remain calm. Even those familiar with the house's history often find themselves unsettled by the intensity of the environment, an unease that grows with every step taken along its narrow hallways. The history of the house contributes heavily to its reputation. The events of the 1970s left a permanent impression. And some believe that the emotions of that time are imprinted upon the property. Visitors often report a sense of sorrow or anger that seems to rise from the walls themselves. The house does not merely hold objects or memories, it holds the echoes of human emotion, tangible and affecting, lingering long after the people themselves have gone. Sightings of shadowy figures are common. Some appear near windows or doorways, fleeting and indistinct. Others are said to move with purpose, following an unseen rhythm. There are reports of cold spots that appear suddenly in the midst of warm rooms, a sharp contrast that startles even the most skeptical. These phenomena are accompanied by a pervasive feeling of tension, a sense that the air itself is charged with something otherworldly. Visitors describe the house as being alive in ways that go beyond physical architecture. The layout of the home, combined with its dark history, creates an environment that challenges perception. Hallways twist and turn in familiar ways yet seem to shift in subtle, almost imperceptible manners. Rooms can feel larger or smaller than they appear, and light behaves unpredictably, creating shadows that play tricks on the mind. Every step within the house carries the potential for unexpected sensations, each one heightening the sense of suspense. Even the exterior of the home seems to convey a presence. The iconic windows of the upper floor have been described as watching, eyes that seem to follow those who approach. At night, the house takes on a heightened aura of mystery, its silhouette cast against the sky, windows dark yet somehow alive. Those who linger near the property speak of sudden chills, the sound of distant footsteps, and lights flickering within rooms that appear empty from the outside. Despite the fear it inspires, the house draws fascination. People are compelled to understand the stories and experience the sensations firsthand. Each visitor leaves with a heightened awareness, a recognition that the home holds layers of history and presence that cannot be easily explained. The house embodies the intersection of tragedy, memory, and the unknown, creating a setting where the past is ever present and the unseen remains palpable. For many, the Amityville house is a symbol of lingering mystery. A place where history and legend converge. It is not merely a home but a repository of energy, memories, and experiences that continue to manifest in tangible ways. The phenomena reported as strange lights, shadowy figures, cold drafts, and sudden noisesa combine to create an atmosphere that is both captivating and unsettling. Each visit reinforces the understanding that this house is not an ordinary dwelling, but a place where the past remains alive, quietly observing, waiting, and influencing all who enter. In the end, the Amityville Horror House is more than the events it witnessed. It is a living testament to the power of memory and emotion, a site where the echoes of tragedy are never fully silenced. Those who step through its doors often leave changed, aware that some energies are persistent, some histories are unforgettable, and some presences remain in the shadows, quietly enduring and undeniably real. The Lemp Mansion in St. Louis, Missouri, stands as a monument to both wealth and tragedy. Built in the 19th century, it was the home of the Lemp family, pioneers in the brewing industry, whose success was matched only by the shadows that followed them. The mansion's grand architecture and ornate details reflect the prosperity of a bygone era. Yet beneath the elegance lies a history marked by sorrow and unexplained events. Visitors who step into the mansion often feel a presence that lingers in the hallways and rooms. A subtle reminder of the family's troubled past. The Lemp family experienced a series of tragic events that left a lasting impression on the mansion. Multiple suicides within the family have been documented, and it is said that the energy of those lost still inhabits the house. Figures in period clothing are sometimes seen wandering the corridors, their movements slow and deliberate as if replaying moments from decades past. Guests report sudden chills, the sensation of unseen eyes watching them, and fleeting shadows that disappear when approached. The mansion carries an air of quiet tension, a blend of history and lingering sorrow that permeates every room. Inside, the mansion's hallways and staircases hold stories that are both unsettling and captivating. Doors slam unexpectedly, often when no one is near, and whispers echo softly in the dead of night. These sounds seem to come from all directions, sometimes clear enough to suggest conversation, yet always just beyond comprehension. Guests have described the sensation of being followed through the rooms, with footsteps falling softly behind them, vanishing when turned to confront. The interplay of light and shadow adds to the unsettling atmosphere, as flickering lamps and sunlight through aged windows create patterns that seem almost alive. The mansione's rooms themselves are rich with history and mystery. The parlor, with its antique furnishings and intricate woodwork, is said to host ghostly figures who sit silently, observing the space as if waiting for something that never arrives. Upstairs bedrooms hold their own secrets, with cold spots that appear suddenly and unexplained movements of objects. Visitors often report the faint scent of perfume or tobacco in empty rooms, a reminder of lives once lived within these walls. Even the dining areas, with tables set for meals that will never be eaten, carry an uncanny sense of anticipation and presence. Outside, the Lemp Mansion is surrounded by gardens and paths that mirror the house's atmosphere. Shadows fall across manicured lawns and overgrown sections alike, creating a sense of quiet isolation. Guests walking the grounds may catch glimpses of figures near windows or moving between the trees, only to vanish when fully seen. The air is often heavy and cool, carrying with it faint sounds that resemble voices carried on the wind. The combination of architecture, landscape, and history makes the mansion a place where the past feels remarkably close, and the line between reality and memory blurs. Visitors who stay overnight or explore the mansion after dark often describe experiences that heighten the sense of mystery. The sound of doors opening and closing, the movement of shadows in peripheral vision, and the occasional glimpse of a figure dressed in old-fashioned attire create an atmosphere that is both eerie and compelling. Some have reported the sensation of being touched lightly on the shoulder or arm, a fleeting contact that leaves no physical mark but evokes a deep awareness of presence. Each room seems to carry its own energy, a mixture of grief, memory, and lingering life. The history of the Lemp family and their mansion adds depth to the paranormal accounts. The family's rise in the brewing industry brought wealth and influence. Yet their personal lives were marred by untimely deaths and emotional turmoil. The mansion itself became a stage for sorrowful events that have left an imprint on the space. Visitors today experience the echo of these histories, not only through stories but in subtle, inexplicable ways that suggest the past remains alive within the mansion's walls. Exploring the Lemp Mansion is an immersive experience, combining architectural beauty with a palpable sense of mystery. Each hallway, staircase, and room tells a story, whether through the physical space or through the lingering presence that inhabits it. Guests find themselves drawn into the history, aware of unseen observers, and sensitive to the faint traces of lives once lived. The mansion offers a rare opportunity to connect with history in a tangible way, where the atmosphere itself becomes a storyteller, sharing moments of joy, sorrow, and lingering unrest. For those who visit the Lemp Mansion, the experience is both haunting and unforgettable. The house remains a witness to the passage of time, a keeper of stories that blend the tangible with the unseen. Figures in period clothing, ghostly whispers, and sudden chills remind visitors that history is never fully gone. And that the presence of those who came before continues to shape the mansion today. Each step through its corridors, each glance into its shadows, carries the weight of lives lived and lost, leaving an impression that lingers long after departure. The Lemp Mansion is a place where history and the supernatural intersect. Its halls are filled with echoes of the past. And the presence of its former inhabitants can be felt in subtle ways throughout the home. The combination of architectural elegance, tragic history, and the lingering mystery creates an experience that captivates the imagination and invites reflection. They carry a sense of having touched a space where the living and the departed exist side by side. A testament to the enduring spirit of the Lemp Mansion. A testament to the enduring spirit of the Lemp Mansion. They carry a sense of having touched a space where the living and the departed exist side by side, a testament to the enduring spirit of the Lemp Mansion. Wilmington, North Carolina is home to one of the most striking historic homes in the region, the Bellamy Mansion. Built in the mid-19th century, this grand residence reflects the opulence of its time. Yet beneath its elegant exterior lies a history filled with whispers, shadows, and unexplained occurrences. Visitors often speak of sensations that defy explanation, a feeling that the mansion itself holds the memories of those who once walked its halls. As one approaches the mansion, the architecture impresses immediately. The tall columns and sweeping staircases suggest wealth and status, yet the air carries a subtle tension. The surrounding gardens, once meticulously maintained, now offer quiet corners where light and shadow intertwine, creating an atmosphere that is both serene and eerie. The mansion seems to breathe with the lives it has sheltered, and those who step onto the property often sense the lingering presence of its past inhabitants. Inside, the elegance of the home is apparent in every detail. Footsteps echo in empty hallways, as though unseen residents move about. Daily routines that ended long ago. Cold spots appear suddenly, a chill that seems to pass over visitors intentionally, leaving them aware of the mansiona's unseen occupants. Shadows play across the walls in ways that defy natural light. At times, figures are glimpsed at the edge of vision, disappearing when attention is focused directly on them. Some visitors report seeing the outlines of past owners, their forms faint but unmistakable, moving with a purpose that hints at unfinished business or a desire to be remembered. The mansiona's past feels alive, woven into the very fabric of the home, waiting for those willing to notice. Rooms tell their own stories. The parlor, once the scene of social gatherings, can feel heavy with memory. A chair may shift slightly, or the floorboards creak as though someone has just passed. The bedrooms, with their high windows and delicate furnishings, carry a quiet energy, as if the people who once slept there still linger in some form. Every corner, every doorway, seems to invite attention, revealing glimpses of a history that is not entirely gone. Visitors often describe the sensation of being watched, a presence that is patient and observant. Whispers carry through the halls, indistinct but compelling, like fragments of conversations from another time. The mansion does not startle aggressively, but its quiet persistence leaves an impression. Lights flicker unexpectedly, reflecting off mirrors and polished surfaces, enhancing the sense that the home is aware of each step taken within its walls. The exterior of the mansion complements the haunting inside. Twilight casts long shadows over the gardens and the front steps, blending the natural and supernatural. The wind whispers through the trees, carrying faint sounds that could be anything, or perhaps echoes of long-ago laughter and conversation. Visitors feel a connection to the mansion's history, a sense that the past is not fully departed and that the Bellamy mansion continues to watch over its grounds. Historical accounts add to the intrigue. The mansion was home to prominent figures, and their lives were marked by both prosperity and turmoil. It is easy to imagine that some of their energy remains, lingering in the hallways and rooms where decisions were made, where families lived and worked. Modern visitors sense this presence as they move through the house, observing minor disturbances and sudden changes in temperature, reminders that some part of history persists in subtle but undeniable ways. Exploring the Bellamy mansion, each step brings a mix of admiration and anticipation. The craftsmanship and grandeur are striking, yet the presence of something beyond the physical world adds depth and mystery. Shadows, footsteps, and whispers create a narrative that is both compelling and unexplainable, making the mansion a living testament to history and the unknown. Visitors often leave with a sense of awe, aware that they have walked alongside echoes of the past. The Bellamy mansion remains a site of fascination and intrigue. Its combination of architectural beauty and paranormal reputation draws visitors eager to experience its unique atmosphere. Shadows of past owners, unexplained sounds, and cold spots remind those who enter that history is never entirely silent. The mansion stands as a bridge between eras, inviting curiosity, reflection, and a respectful acknowledgement of the lives and stories that continue to inhabit its halls. Walking through the Bellamy mansion, one cannot help but feel that the past and present coexist. Each creaking floorboard, every flickering light, carries the weight of memory and unseen presence. Visitors leave with an awareness that the mansion is more than a historic structure, it is a living chronicle of lives once lived and stories yet to be fully understood. The Bellamy mansion endures as a captivating and mysterious landmark, where elegance and the unexplained intersect, leaving a lasting impression on all who step inside. Built in the late 19th century, the sprawling mansion reflects the ambition and wealth of the Vanderbilt family. With grand halls, intricately carved woodwork, and rooms filled with fine art and antiques, visitors often arrive expecting to witness a display of elegance and history. Yet many find that certain areas of the estate hold an atmosphere that is far more mysterious than the grandeur alone would suggest. Throughout the vast corridors and quiet chambers, some guests report fleeting glimpses of figures that cannot be explained. These apparitions are often described as elegantly dressed, moving through rooms or descending staircases with an ethereal grace. The figures do not interact directly but leave a lasting impression, as if echoing the lives once lived within these walls. It is a subtle presence, one that blends with the history of the estate while hinting at a lingering connection between the past and the present. Visitors have spoken of sudden noises, soft footsteps that fall into silence before they can be fully identified, and doors that seem to open or close without cause. Strange lights sometimes flicker along hallways or appear in rooms where no illumination should reach, casting shadows that shift unnaturally. These experiences are rarely alarming but create a sense of wonder and unease, a feeling that the estate is more than a static museum and that history moves within its walls in ways that are intangible. The grand halls of the Biltmore, with their high ceilings and sweeping staircases, offer both beauty and mystery. The chandeliers shimmer, reflecting the soft glow of natural light, while hidden corners and side rooms hold echoes of lives that once traversed these spaces. Guests have reported seeing figures vanish as they approach, as if the estate itself chooses when to reveal its secrets. Footsteps sometimes echo in empty rooms, and the air can feel heavier in certain areas, hinting at memories embedded deep within the structure. Even the more public areas, such as the library and music room, have been noted for unusual activity. Some visitors hear the faint rustle of fabric or the subtle creak of chairs that should remain still. Others describe the sensation of being observed, a quiet awareness that is difficult to place. The estate's vastness allows for these moments to be fleeting yet impactful, a reminder that the grandeur of the Biltmore encompasses more than its visual splendor. The past feels alive, carried by the very structure of the home and the stories it holds. Exploring the bedrooms and private chambers adds another layer of fascination. Many of these rooms are preserved with furnishings from the Vanderbilt era, offering a glimpse into the domestic lives of the family. Yet visitors often sense a presence beyond the historical artifacts, a quiet impression of past residents moving within the spaces. The feeling is rarely intrusive, more like a gentle awareness that time has layered itself upon the estate, leaving traces that defy explanation. Even the estate's exterior contributes to its enigmatic atmosphere. The gardens, with their meticulously maintained pathways, fountains, and sprawling lawns, are serene by day but take on a different character in dim light. The vast grounds seem to hold their own stories, and some have reported seeing figures moving among the trees or along garden paths when no one else is present. These experiences extend the sense that the Biltmore is not only a home, but a living repository of history, where past and present coexist in subtle, mysterious ways. Guided tours and personal visits alike provide opportunities to encounter these phenomena. The combination of historical context and unexplained experiences makes each visit unique. The estate communicates through small details, as shifting shadows, unusual sounds, and fleeting glimpses of the past, inviting visitors to sense the presence of those who lived and moved within its walls long ago. There is a rhythm to these encounters, a way in which the Biltmore reveals its mysteries sparingly yet memorably. The Biltmore estate endures not only as a masterpiece of architecture and history, but also as a place imbued with intrigue. Its halls, rooms, and gardens are imbued with subtle reminders of human presence that continue to captivate those who walk its corridors. The apparitions, unexplained noises, and strange lights create an experience that blends education, admiration, and curiosity with a quiet sense of the uncanny. Visitors leave with the impression that the estate holds more than its physical treasures, carrying with them the lingering echoes of life, memory, and mystery. Walking through the Biltmore estate, one is reminded that every structure holds stories beyond what is seen. Here, the grandeur and the unexplained intertwine, offering a journey that is both aesthetic and haunting. The mansion, gardens, and hidden spaces provide a window into the lives of past residents while leaving room for imagination and the inexplicable. Each step taken within this historic estate encourages reflection, awe, and a recognition that some histories remain alive in ways that can be felt but not fully explained. The Biltmore Estate in Asheville continues to captivate as a place of elegance, history, and subtle mystery. Its preserved architecture and carefully maintained gardens draw admiration, while the faint traces of former residents and unusual occurrences keep the curiosity of visitors alive. In this convergence of grandeur and enigma, the estate becomes more than a home or museum, it is a living narrative of human presence, memory, and the whispers of a past that continues to move quietly among the halls, staircases, and gardens, leaving an indelible mark on those who visit. The Driscoll Hotel in Austin, Texas, stands as a monument to history and elegance, its limestone walls and grand architecture dating back to the 1880s. Yet beyond the opulent chandeliers and polished marble floors, the hotel carries a reputation steeped in mystery. Guests and staff alike have reported encounters that hint at the presence of those who once walked these halls, lingering long after their time. From the moment one enters the hotel, the air feels charged with stories. The lobby, adorned with intricate woodwork and grand staircases, seems to hum with memories. Patrons have spoken of sudden chills, the sense of being watched, and the quiet sound of footsteps echoing where no one walks. Shadows occasionally move at the edge of perception, flickering along the hallways as if retracing the paths of unseen figures. Some rooms are known for more intense experiences. Guests have reported objects shifting slightly, lights dimming without cause, and the inexplicable feeling of a presence in the corner of a room. The energy is subtle but persistent, a silent reminder that the past continues to reside within these walls. Certain suites are said to be particularly active, with whispers carried on the still air and doors opening and closing of their own accord. The hallways themselves tell stories. Figures have been glimpsed moving past open doors, dressed in the attire of earlier decades, vanishing when approached. The sensation of being followed or observed is common, especially during quiet hours when the hum of activity fades, and the hotel takes on an almost otherworldly stillness. Even seasoned visitors describe a heightened awareness in these moments, as if every corner and corridor holds a secret waiting to be discovered. The history of the Driscoll contributes heavily to its haunted reputation. Built during a time of prosperity in Austin, the hotel has seen countless events unfold within its walls. From elegant balls to business dealings, and the lives of the people who occupied it left indelible marks. Some of the spirits are believed to be former guests who met tragic or sudden ends, their energy lingering in spaces where they once celebrated or rested. Others are said to be staff, continuing their work long after their earthly duties concluded. Guests have reported hearing faint music that seems out of place, carried from unseen sources. Laughter or quiet conversation sometimes drift through hallways, fading as quickly as they appear. Cold spots appear and vanish, often accompanying the sensation of an unseen presence passing by. The hotel seems to exist simultaneously in the present and the past, a living record of those who shaped its story. The ballroom and dining areas are among the most storied locations. Patrons have described hearing the faint echoes of old gatherings, the soft tap of dancing feet or the rustle of gowns. Even when the rooms are empty, the sound is not loud, but it is distinct, as if the hotel itself remembers the celebrations and interactions of decades past. Visitors often find themselves pausing, feeling a connection to moments that exist beyond the reach of time. Even the exterior of the Driscoll holds its share of spectral tales. The limestone facade casts long shadows at dusk, giving the building a presence that seems to watch over the streets of Austin. Some have reported seeing figures in period clothing looking out from windows, standing silently before disappearing into the night. These experiences contribute to the sense that the hotel is more than just a building, it is a keeper of memory, a repository of lives and stories that continue to resonate. Paranormal investigators and curious visitors alike have attempted to document the activity. Recordings occasionally capture unexplained sounds, and photographs sometimes reveal shapes or shadows that defy explanation. Yet beyond these tangible records, the true essence of the Drusilla hauntings is experienced personally, felt in the subtle disturbances, the shifting air, and the moments when one feels a presence just beyond sight. The Driscoll Hotel embodies a delicate balance between history and the unknown. It is a place of grandeur and elegance, yet within its walls lie remnants of lives once lived, lingering in ways that are both eerie and fascinating. Every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of light, and every unexplained sensation reminds visitors that the hotel is alive in its own unique way. Walking through the halls, one cannot help but feel a connection to the past. The stories and experiences reported here form a tapestry of mystery, a reminder that some places retain the energy of those who inhabited them. The Driscoll Hotel is not only a destination for luxury and hospitality but also a portal to the echoes of history, where spirits continue to wander and the past remains a living presence. Those who enter may leave with more than memories of elegant surroundings. They may carry with them a sense of the unseen, a subtle awareness that some stories do not end, and some lives continue to whisper through the halls of the Driscoll Hotel. Quietly observing, gently reminding, and undeniably present. Those who enter may leave with more than memories of elegant surroundings. The Omni Parker House in Boston, Massachusetts, stands as one of the city's most iconic and historic hotels, its grandeur reflecting decades of hospitality, culture, and a deep sense of history. Established in the mid-19th century, the hotel has welcomed countless guests, dignitaries, and travelers. Yet within its walls lies a series of stories that speak of more than just luxury and comfort. Some visitors report a presence that lingers in the corridors and rooms, a quiet, persistent reminder of the hotel's long and storied past. Ghostly figures in period attire are said to appear in the hallways and lounges, moving with a calm, almost deliberate grace. Guests recount seeing shapes that fade when approached, their features just out of focus, as if caught between worlds. These apparitions often evoke a sense of nostalgia, as though the past is quietly observing the present. The hotel's richly furnished rooms and historic architecture provide the perfect backdrop for these experiences, where history seems to whisper through the air, touching the senses of those who enter. Whispers are another common occurrence reported by those who stay late into the night. Soft, indistinct voices seem to drift from empty corridors, brushing past the ears of guests and staff alike. The sounds are fleeting, impossible to trace to any source, and often leave a lingering feeling of unease. Combined with sudden chills that appear without explanation, the atmosphere of the hotel takes on a mysterious quality, one that hints at the presence of past inhabitants. Whose stories are etched into the very structure of the building. The hotel's lobby, adorned with polished wood, marble, and vintage furnishings, is a frequent site of paranormal reports. Some guests claim to see figures in 19th-century clothing seated quietly in corners or standing by the grand staircase, only to vanish when approached. These sightings are rarely accompanied by fear, instead offering a glimpse into a bygone era, a reminder of the lives that have passed through the Omni Parker House over more than a century. The blending of elegance and spectral activity creates a unique experience, where beauty and mystery coexist in a delicate balance. Guest rooms themselves hold their own stories. Cold spots appear suddenly, often near beds or by windows, where no draft could explain the drop in temperature. Some visitors report the sensation of being watched, a subtle awareness that something unseen is present in the room. Occasionally, objects are said to move slightly or appear in different positions, though without the signs of forced disturbance. These small, inexplicable occurrences contribute to a sense of history that is still alive within the walls, a quiet, ongoing interaction between past and present. Dining areas, including the hotel's historic restaurants, also carry tales of the unexplained. Patrons sometimes sense a presence nearby, feel a chill, or glimpse a figure moving between tables when no one else is around. The combination of candlelit rooms, polished surfaces, and ambient sounds of the city outside creates an environment where the senses are heightened, making subtle anomalies more pronounced. Even those who do not directly encounter a figure often report a feeling of being part of something larger, a connection to the many generations who have passed through the space before. Staff members, who spend extensive time within the hotel, often share stories of the unexplained. Sudden cold drafts appear in hallways, doors open and close without cause, and faint sounds of movement are heard in empty sections of the building. While some dismiss these events as imagination or coincidence, many who have spent years within the Omni Parker house attest to experiences that defy simple explanation. The consistency of reports across decades lends credibility to the notion that the hotel holds more than just the memories of its living guests. The Omni Parker House's historic significance amplifies the feeling of mystery. From its architectural details to its long-standing reputation as a center of Boston's social and cultural life. Every corner seems imbued with stories. Figures from the past appear unexpectedly. Whispers echo faintly through halls. And sudden chills remind visitors that the hotel is a living connection to history. Each guest who steps into the building becomes part of a continuum, sharing space with the past, while carrying the experience into the present. A living connection to history. Exploring the hotel is a unique experience that combines elegance with the eerie. Every corridor, staircase, and room tells a story, whether through the physical environment or the subtle sensations that guests perceive. There is a sense that the building itself is alive, aware of those who enter, and ready to offer glimpses of history in ways that are felt rather than seen. Visitors often leave with memories that linger, a combination of awe, curiosity, and a quiet shiver, knowing they have encountered something beyond ordinary experience. For those who venture into the Omni Parker house, the hotel offers more than a place to stay. It provides an encounter with history, with lives that have passed through and left an enduring presence. Each step through the hotel is an invitation to witness a blend of luxury, culture, and mystery, where the elegance of Boston's history is intertwined with the unseen, offering an experience that is both captivating and unforgettable. The Omni Parker house remains a symbol of Boston's layered history, a place where the living and the departed coexist in subtle, atmospheric ways. Visitors depart with a sense of having been part of something timeless, a connection to the countless stories that have unfolded within its walls. Figures in period attire, faint whispers, and sudden chills are not merely tales of the past, but living echoes, ensuring that the Omni Parker house continues to be a place where history, mystery, and the supernatural meet in quiet, enduring harmony. Chicago in the late 19th century was a city of ambition and expansion, filled with opportunity, yet hidden within its bustling streets. Stood a building that would become infamous for reasons darker than anyone could imagine. The structure, later dubbed the Murder Castle, was constructed with a purpose that blended deception and dread. Its towering walls and labyrinthine interior concealed secrets that would shock the world and leave a legacy of fear that persists even today. The H. Holmes Murder Castle was not just a building. It was an architectural enigma, filled with hidden passages, locked doors, and false staircases. Visitors walking through its remnants often report feelings of unease, a weight that seems to press against the chest, as though the walls themselves remember the acts committed within. Every corner seems to hold a story, every hallway a whisper of the past, drawing curiosity and caution in equal measure. Entering the structure, the first sensation is often the unexpected chill. Some rooms carry an unnatural coldness, a draft that cannot be traced to doors or windows. This cold accompanies the sense of being watched, a pervasive feeling that lingers in the mind long after one has moved on. Shadows seem to shift with a life of their own, hinting at the presence of something unseen, a reminder that the building has absorbed more than just stone and timber. Accounts from those who explore the site describe corridors that feel impossibly long and rooms that defy logical layout. Locked doors, once impenetrable, hide passageways that twist and turn, creating a maze designed for secrecy and control. It is within these hidden spaces that the darkest history of the building comes alive. Visitors report fleeting glimpses of figures, pale and silent, moving just beyond sight. These apparitions are thought to be echoes of the victims whose lives ended tragically within these walls. The air inside the building carries tension, thick and almost tangible. Even during the brightest hours, certain areas remain cloaked in shadows. Corners where the imagination senses the presence of something beyond the physical. The floorboards creak in ways that cannot be explained. The sound amplified in empty rooms, creating the impression that someone, or something, is moving silently alongside each visitor. Some claim to hear whispers, soft and fragmented, a chorus of voices that seem to emanate from the walls themselves. Words are indistinct, leaving only the emotional imprint of fear, confusion, and despair. The mansion seems alive with memory, a structure that refuses to forget the lives intertwined with its creation. Those who enter feel drawn into this narrative, as though they are witnesses to the stories that the walls are eager to reveal. Beyond the interior, the building's exterior speaks of history and deception. Its architecture, imposing and grand, masks the horrors within. Visitors can still sense the calculated design, the way windows, doors, and passages were arranged to conceal and trap. Even in its ruined state, the building projects an aura of menace, a reminder that appearances often belie the darkest realities. Exploring the murder castle, one cannot escape the psychological weight of its history. The combination of architecture, legend, and lingering presence creates a unique atmosphere, where history and the supernatural seem to converge. Apparitions of victims appear at the edge of vision, while the mind struggles to reconcile the past with the present. The experience is unsettling yet compelling, drawing visitors into a story that is both cautionary and endlessly fascinating. Historical context adds depth to the haunting. H. Holmes was a figure of charisma and intelligence, yet behind this facade was a man capable of unfathomable acts. The building itself was his instrument, designed to manipulate, control, and ultimately end lives. Modern visitors feel the echo of these intentions, a residual imprint that defies rational explanation. Shadows, cold spots, and unexplained sounds serve as reminders that the history of the building is not merely recorded in books, but etched into the very fabric of its walls. That's all. As one moves through the murder castle, the feeling of immersion deepens. Each room, each corridor, offers a glimpse into the intersection of human ambition and darkness. Footsteps echo from empty halls, shadows flicker in corners, and the sense of unseen eyes observing each movement never fully fades. The structure continues to captivate, its story compelling yet chilling, a monument to a past that refuses to be forgotten. Visitors leave with a mixture of fascination and relief, aware that the building has claimed their attention and, in some way, their imagination. The H. Holmes murder castle endures not only as a historical site but as a testament to human curiosity and the compelling nature of the unknown. Its walls hold stories, apparitions, and sensations that continue to intrigue and unsettle, ensuring that this infamous structure remains a subject of mystery, reflection, and cautious exploration. Walking through the remnants of the murder castle, one experiences a narrative that is both tangible and spectral. The architecture, the hidden passageways, and the lingering presence of those who suffered within create an immersive journey into history and horror. The building stands as a chilling reminder of the darker side of human ingenuity, a place where the echoes of the past remain vivid, mysterious, and impossible to ignore. The Rowan Oak in Oxford, Mississippi stands as a testament to the life and legacy of William Faulkner, one of America's most celebrated writers. The home, with its stately exterior and sprawling grounds, reflects a quiet dignity, offering visitors a glimpse into the world of literature and history intertwined. Built in the 1840s, the house holds the weight of generations, yet it is Faulkner's presence that lingers most prominently, shaping the atmosphere in ways both subtle and mysterious. Walking through the front doors, visitors are immediately struck by the elegance of the interior. Wooden floors gleam under soft lighting, and the walls are lined with books, paintings, and the remnants of a life devoted to writing and contemplation. Yet amidst the beauty and order, there exists an unusual stillness, a sense that the past has not entirely departed. Guests have reported fleeting shadows near the study, where Faulkner spent countless hours crafting his stories. And in the library, where bookshelves stand as silent witnesses to his thoughts and imagination. The study itself is a focal point for many of these experiences. Visitors describe a feeling of being observed, a quiet presence that cannot be located. Occasionally, the subtle creak of a chair occurs as if someone has just shifted in their seat, though no one is there. Papers may appear slightly moved from their original position, or a soft tapping can be heard against the wooden desk. These moments are brief, almost imperceptible, yet they leave a lingering impression that the creative energy that once filled the room has taken on a form beyond the physical. The library offers its own peculiar sense of life. Rows of leather-bound books create narrow corridors where light falls unevenly, casting long shadows across the floor. Some guests have claimed to see figures moving quietly among the shelves, silhouettes that vanish when approached. Others hear faint whispers, almost like the turning of pages or the murmurs of someone reading aloud, though the room remains empty. The experience is neither frightening nor threatening, rather, it is a reminder of the depth of human presence that remains when a home is steeped in history and intellect. Beyond the main rooms, the hallways and corners of the Rowan Oak seem to hold their own secrets. Footsteps echo softly along polished floors, and doors may move slightly as if stirred by an invisible hand. The air in certain areas feels charged, carrying a weight of memory and lingering thoughts. Even the smallest gesture, the brushing of a shadow across a wall, the fleeting impression of someone walking behind it, contribute to the house's enigmatic ambience. These occurrences invite reflection on the lives that have passed through these spaces and the invisible traces they leave behind. The exterior of the home enhances the sense of quiet mystery. The sprawling grounds, shaded by ancient trees and carefully maintained gardens, offer both serenity and a hint of the uncanny. Walking along the paths, visitors sometimes sense a presence just beyond their vision, a fleeting glimpse of movement among the branches or along the walkways. The air carries the scent of earth and leaves, grounding the experience in the tangible world while allowing room for imagination to roam. The connection between the house and its natural surroundings seems almost deliberate, blending the seen with the unseen. Many who spend time in the Rowan Oak remark on the pervasive feeling of reflection and contemplation. It is a place where history and creativity intersect, and where the boundaries between past and present appear to blur. The subtle signs of presencia, the moving shadows, the faint sounds, and the sensations of being watched invite visitors to consider the lives that shaped this home. It is not a haunted house in the traditional sense, but a residence where memory and spirit linger in quiet, compelling ways. Exploring the study, library, and adjoining rooms, one becomes acutely aware of the stories contained within these walls. The objects, the furnishings, and even the architectural details seem to hold fragments of life that cannot be fully understood. Guests often leave with a sense of having touched something enduring, a connection to Faulkner himself, or to the countless individuals who inhabited the home before and after him. The Rowan Oak is not merely a museum, it is a living narrative, where history breathes and whispers through corridors and rooms, creating an atmosphere both contemplative and mysterious. The Rowan Oak's unique blend of literary heritage and subtle supernatural presence makes it a remarkable destination. Visitors experience the house on multiple levels, appreciating its historical and aesthetic qualities, while also sensing the echoes of life that remain. Shadowy figures, soft footsteps, and unexplained movements serve as gentle reminders that the past is never entirely absent, and that the energy of creativity can manifest in ways that transcend time and space. As one walks through the halls, lingers in the study, or gazes along the tree-lined paths, the rowan oak conveys a quiet, persistent presence. It is the spirit of intellect, history, and human experience woven into the very fabric of the home. The house stands as a testament to William Faulkner's enduring legacy, offering visitors not only a view of a bygone era but also a glimpse into the lingering resonance of a life well lived. A life that continues to leave subtle, unforgettable marks within these walls and the minds of those who enter. The Smeady's Factor House in Natchez, Mississippi, stands as a grand reminder of antebellum history, its white columns and sprawling verandas reflecting an era of elegance and wealth. Yet beneath its stately appearance lies a reputation that draws both historians and thrill-seekers alike. Visitors have long spoken of experiences that suggest the presence of those who once called this mansion home, lingering in the shadows and corridors of a bygone era. As one approaches the house, the atmosphere shifts. The gardens, meticulously maintained, are quiet. Yet there is a weight in the air. A subtle sense that the estate remembers every footstep. The interior, adorned with period furniture and ornate decorations, seems alive in unexpected ways. Doors have been known to swing gently on their own. Chairs are sometimes found moved from their usual places, and faint sounds echo through the halls with no apparent source. The hallways themselves carry the weight of memory. Shadowy figures are often glimpsed at the edges of vision, appearing and disappearing as quickly as they are noticed. Some visitors describe the feeling of being watched, a presence lingering just beyond the reach of understanding. Footsteps resonate on wooden floors when no one else is present, and the faint scent of roses or aged wood seems to linger in certain rooms, as though the house itself is trying to communicate the past. The mansion's bedrooms are particularly active. Guests and investigators alike have reported objects shifting subtly, beds seeming to creak under unseen weight, and the sensation of someone standing silently near the doorway. It is as if the former residents have left traces of themselves in the very air, a reminder that the house has witnessed countless lives and experiences over generations. Whispers sometimes drift through the rooms, indistinct but unmistakable, vanishing as soon as one attempts to listen more closely. In the dining and parlor areas, the past seems even more present. Some have claimed to hear the soft murmur of conversations or the clink of silverware, as though a long-forgotten gathering is still underway. Lights flicker in unexpected patterns, not from electrical faults, but as though responding to invisible presences. Each of these moments creates a feeling of being caught between eras, where the present and the past coexist in subtle, unnerving ways. The mansiona's staircases and upper corridors add another layer to the mystery. Figures have been seen moving at the tops of stairs, only to vanish when approached. The floors themselves sometimes groan as if carrying weight that has no origin, and a sudden draft can sweep through, chilling visitors to the bone. The house seems to breathe with its own rhythm, alive not in a physical sense, but in the accumulation of memories, energies, and lingering spirits. Even the exterior holds stories. Windows on the upper floors occasionally reflect shapes that disappear when looked at directly. Verandas that appear empty may carry the faint echo of footsteps or laughter in the evening. Those walking the gardens after dark sometimes report the sense of being followed or watched, the air thick with history and lingering presence. The mansion, in all its grandeur, does not relinquish its secrets easily. Paranormal investigators have documented unexplained phenomena, capturing fleeting shadows or sudden temperature drops. Yet beyond these tangible experiences, the true essence of the Smedes Factor house's hauntings is felt rather than seen. It resides in the quiet moments, the subtle disturbances, and the sense that the mansion itself is aware of every movement within its walls. Visitors often leave with a sense of awe and unease, a feeling that history is not entirely behind them but walking alongside them in spectral form. The sense of being watched is palpable, a feeling that the mansion's dark past is waiting to consume them. This feeling is not just a product of their imagination, but a reality that seeps into their very being. As they delve deeper into the mansion's secrets, they begin to realize that they are not alone in their quest for truth. The line between reality and madness begins to blur, as the visitors confront the dark forces that lurk within the mansion's walls. In the end, it is not the ghosts that haunt the mansion, but the darkness that resides within the hearts of those who dare to enter. The mansion embodies a dialogue between the past and present, where architecture, memory, and spirit intertwine. Every creak, every shift of light, and every whisper serves as a reminder of the lives once lived within its walls. The grandeur of the house, while captivating, is shadowed by the invisible presence of those who remain, their stories echoing through hallways, rooms, and gardens. Walking through the Smedes Factor house is more than a tour, it is a journey into layers of time. The house holds the echoes of joy, sorrow, and the ordinary moments that define generations. It is a space where the boundary between the living and the past blurs. Where shadowy figures and subtle disturbances are not threats but remnants of memory. For those who enter, the mansion leaves an indelible impression. Every step through its halls is accompanied by the awareness that history is not silent. The Smedes Factor house does not merely preserve the past in architecture and artifacts. It allows it to linger in the very air, a testament to the enduring presence of those who once walked its floors. Visitors leave with more than recollections of beauty and history. They carry with them a sense of connection to spirits that have refused to fade. Silently observing, and quietly reminding that some stories remain very much alive. The Waverly Mansion in Mississippi stands as a testament to history, elegance, and the lingering presence of the past. Built generations ago, this grand home has witnessed the lives of countless families, each leaving behind traces of their stories, joys, and sorrows. Yet beneath its stately exterior lies a reputation that has captured the imagination of many, a reputation for ghostly sightings and unexplained occurrences that continue to intrigue visitors and locals alike. From the moment one approaches the mansion, a sense of quiet anticipation fills the air. The grounds are expansive, dotted with ancient trees whose branches stretch toward the sky like silent sentinels. The mansion itself rises proudly, its ornate windows reflecting sunlight by day and moonlight by night. Many who step onto the property describe a feeling of being watched, a subtle awareness that the house holds more than just the echoes of the living. Inside, the Waverly Mansion reveals a world of shadows and whispers. Guests often report hearing footsteps echoing along hardwood floors. The sound seemingly coming from rooms that are empty. Yet they leave a distinct impression on anyone who experiences them. The mirrors in the mansion have become focal points for reports of the supernatural. Visitors have described seeing figures in reflective surfaces that vanish when approached. Sometimes, a shadowy silhouette appears, standing silently behind. A fleeting glance reveals a face that is unmistakably present but impossible to find in the room itself. Such encounters have left many with an unsettling mix of curiosity and reverence. A feeling that history is more than a story, it is alive, present in ways that defy explanation. Certain rooms in the mansion are known to be hotspots for activity. The parlor, with its polished wood and vintage furnishings, is said to host figures who move gracefully through the space, often appearing just beyond the edge of vision. The dining room, with its long table and candlelit chandeliers, has been the site of unexplained sounds, the scraping of chairs, the clinking of utensils, and soft murmurs that vanish as quickly as they arrive. The scraping of chairs, the clinking of utensils, and soft murmurs that vanish as quickly as they arrive. These subtle events create an atmosphere where history and mystery intertwine, making every visit a journey into the unseen. Visitors have shared stories of feeling sudden chills, even on warm days, as they move through the mansion. The sensation is often accompanied by the faint scent of perfume or tobacco, scents that seem oddly out of place yet tied to the mansione's past. These experiences leave an impression that the house is not merely a structure of wood and stone, but a living repository of memories, carrying forward fragments of those who once walked its halls. The mansion's exterior is no less enigmatic. By day, sunlight casts long shadows across its ornate facade. While at night, moonlight transforms the grounds into a landscape of silhouettes and shifting shapes. Guests walking the gardens often describe the sensation of figures moving among the trees. Glimpses of people who vanish when looked at directly. The wind carries faint sounds of laughter or conversation. As if the mansion itself is breathing life into the stories that have unfolded across generations. Those who spend time within the Waverley Mansion often report a mixture of awe and unease. The beauty of its architecture, the elegance of its furnishings, and the weight of its history create an immersive experience. Yet the unexplained phenomena, the whispers, footsteps, cold drafts, and fleeting figuresa serve as a reminder that the past has a presence that is not confined to memory alone. The mansion bridges the gap between what is seen and unseen, offering encounters that are as captivating as they are mysterious. Staff and long-term visitors of the mansion have their own accounts of the inexplicable. Doors are reported to open and close without cause, faint sounds of movement echo in empty rooms, and subtle shadows appear in corners where none should exist. While some attribute these experiences to imagination or coincidence, the consistency of reports over time suggests that the mansion holds something beyond the ordinary, a lingering presence that continues to engage those who enter. Exploring the Waverley Mansion is an invitation to step into a world where history and the supernatural coexist. Each room, corridor, and garden path is imbued with stories, both visible and hidden. Guests become part of a continuum, sharing space with the echoes of the past while navigating an environment that is alive with subtle signs of what came before. The mansion offers a unique experience, one that blends elegance, history, and the intangible in a way that is both haunting and unforgettable. The Waverley Mansion remains a place where the past is present in quiet, atmospheric ways. Figures in mirrors, whispers along hallways, and cold spots in empty rooms remind visitors that the history of this home is not confined to books or photographs. It lives on in sensations, glimpses, and fleeting encounters that connect the living with those who came before. Every visit becomes a dialogue with history, a chance to witness the enduring presence of the mansion and the stories it holds within its walls. For those who step inside, the Waverley Mansion offers more than a tour of a historic home. It provides an encounter with the unknown, a moment to reflect on the lives that shaped the house. And the subtle ways they continue to influence it. The whispers, footsteps, and ghostly figures are reminders that the mansion is not only a place of history but a realm where memory and mystery converge, creating an experience that lingers long after one has left its doors. Nestled within the rolling hills of Tennessee lies a site steeped in legend and mystery. The Bell Witch Cave House, a modest dwelling adjacent to the shadowed mouth of a cave, stands as a silent witness to tales that have echoed through centuries. Its walls seem to hum with memories of events that defy rational explanation, a place where the boundary between the natural and the supernatural feels fragile and uncertain. Visitors approaching the property often describe an immediate shift in atmosphere. The air grows heavy, almost electric, carrying the faint scent of damp earth from the nearby cave. Sounds, subtle and almost imperceptible, seem to emerge from the surrounding woods. Footsteps fall softly on the ground, though no one else is in sight. The cave itself, dark and looming, casts shadows that seem to move independently of the sun, drawing the eye and imagination alike. The history of the Bell Witch legend permeates the house and the surrounding area. Accounts passed down through generations speak of a spirit both mischievous and malevolent, capable of influencing those who dwell nearby. People have reported doors opening and closing on their own, objects shifting without explanation, and voices that call from empty rooms or the darkness beyond the cave entrance. The phenomena is not confined to a single location, but instead seems to flow like a current between the cave and the house, linking them in a web of supernatural activity. Walking near the entrance of the cave, visitors report a sudden chill that contrasts sharply with the warmth of the surrounding forest. Some have felt invisible hands brush against their skin, or the sensation of being closely watched by eyes unseen. Shadows flicker across the ground, cast by shapes that cannot be identified, and the faint echo of voices reverberates through the hollow walls of the cave. The combination of these sensations creates a profound sense of tension and anticipation, as if the landscape itself is alive with memory and intent. The Bell Witch Cave House is more than a site of occasional hauntings. It is a portal into a past where folklore and reality merge. Objects within the home, though seemingly ordinary, carry an energy that many visitors describe as unsettling. Chairs tilt slightly as though nudged, windows rattle in still air, and floorboards groan with the weight of invisible footsteps. Even the act of standing still can provoke a sense of intrusion, as though the house itself demands acknowledgement of its long and storied presence. Historical context adds to the atmosphere. The legend of the Bell Witch dates back to the early 19th century, a time when the rural Tennessee landscape was thick with superstition and oral tradition. Families passed down stories of unexplained events, strange sounds, and sightings of shadowy figures. The cave, dark and deep, became a focal point for these narratives, a natural gateway for the unknown. Over time, the home adjacent to it absorbed these stories, serving as a tangible anchor for the legend that continues to draw curious souls even today. Exploring the house, one becomes acutely aware of the duality of the site. On one hand, it is a simple dwelling with familiar features, yet on the other, it is a stage for phenomena that defy explanation. Visitors describe fleeting glimpses of figures standing just beyond clear view, often in peripheral vision, vanishing when confronted directly. These sightings are accompanied by sounds of soft laughter, the murmur of voices, or the tapping of unseen feet that heighten the sense of mystery and unease. The cave itself adds an element of primal suspense. Its dark entrance swallows light and sound, and stepping closer evokes a sense of timelessness. Many describe a pull, an almost magnetic draw toward the shadows, as if the cave holds secrets eager to be acknowledged. The cave is not simply a backdrop to the Bell Witch legend, it is a character in its own right, shaping the energy of the home and the experiences of those who dare to explore. Psychologically, the Bell Witch Cave House challenges perception and expectation. Each step through its rooms or along its pathways demands heightened awareness. The mind becomes alert to the smallest sounds, the faintest movements, and the briefest sensations. Visitors often describe a mixture of fear and fascination, a compelling urge to understand the phenomena even while their instincts warn caution. The house and cave, in tandem, create a narrative of suspense that is both immersive and relentless. By the time visitors leave, the sense of having encountered something beyond the ordinary lingers. The house, the cave, and the surrounding land maintain their silent presence. A reminder that the legend of the Bell Witch is not merely a story but a living, breathing experience. Shadows, whispers, and fleeting figures continue to imprint themselves on the memory, ensuring that each visitor carries a part of the mystery with them. The Bell Witch Cave House remains a testament to the enduring power of folklore and the human fascination with the unknown. It is a place where history and legend intersect, where natural and supernatural forces converge, and where each visitor becomes part of a narrative that stretches back centuries. The air, the shadows, and the cave itself hold stories that continue to unfold. A quiet invitation to witness the persistent echoes of the Bell Witch in the landscape of Tennessee. The old Louisiana governor's mansion in Baton Rouge stands as a symbol of political power and history, its stately architecture and grand interiors reflecting the lives of those who once walked its halls. Built in the 1930s, the mansion has witnessed decades of leadership, ceremony, and personal moments behind closed doors. Yet beyond the formal elegance, there exists an air of quiet mystery, a sense that the history contained within these walls continues to resonate in ways that are both subtle and uncanny. Yet beyond the formal elegance, there exists an air of quiet mystery, a sense that the history contained within these walls continues to resonate in ways that are both subtle and uncanny. Visitors to the mansion often speak of an immediate shift upon entering, a feeling that the building is alive with echoes of the past. The grand staircases, polished floors, and high ceilings exude authority and refinement, yet there are corners and rooms where the air seems cooler, heavier, as if history itself has settled into the space. In certain offices once occupied by governors and staff, cold spots can appear without explanation, and the faintest whispers drift through the hallways when the building is otherwise empty. The offices and private chambers are a focal point for many of these experiences. People have reported shadowy figures moving just out of direct sight. The impression of someone pacing or standing silently, yet no one is physically present. Chairs occasionally shift slightly, papers may seem displaced, and soft sounds resembling footsteps echo along polished wooden floors. These occurrences are never threatening, but they create a palpable sense of presence. A reminder that the lives of those who worked and lived here continue to linger. The mansione's corridors carry their own quiet stories. As sunlight filters through large windows, dust motes dance in the beams. And yet some visitors notice a movement in the shadows that cannot be attributed to light or reflection. Doors may open or close slowly, often on their own. And the faint creaking of floorboards suggests a presence walking just ahead. These moments are fleeting, almost imperceptible, yet they leave an impression that is impossible to ignore. The house seems to carry memories like a living archive, preserving fragments of life that extend beyond the physical. Even in the grand reception areas, the atmosphere holds a peculiar weight. Elaborate chandeliers cast soft light across ornate furnishings, and portraits of former governors line the walls, their eyes seeming to follow visitors as they move through the rooms. Occasionally, guests report sensing a subtle shift in temperature or hearing murmurs that cannot be located, as if the past itself is softly observing the present. The mansion bridges the tangible and intangible, creating an experience that blends history, architecture, and a hint of the unexplained. The exterior of the mansion complements this mysterious aura. The grounds are meticulously maintained, with formal gardens, stately trees, and quiet walkways that encourage reflection. At dusk, shadows lengthen across the lawn and the building itself seems to take on a different character, the grandeur softened into something more enigmatic. Some visitors have felt as though unseen figures move through the gardens, just beyond the edge of vision. Or that the air itself carries a faint echo of conversations long past. These subtle impressions reinforce the sense that the mansion is more than a historical structure. It is a vessel of memory and lingering presence. Many who explore the old Louisiana governor's mansion describe a heightened awareness of time and history. The whispered sounds, cold spots, and fleeting shadows are not merely curiosities. They serve as reminders of the human lives that shaped this building and the decisions that unfolded within it. Each room seems to hold its own narrative, whether in the quiet creak of a floorboard or the impression of a presence watching from the corner of a hallway. Visitors are invited to consider the legacy of those who lived and worked here, and to reflect on the subtle ways their presence continues to influence the mansion's atmosphere. The mansion's blend of history and subtle supernatural impressions creates a unique experience. It is not a place of overt fright, but one of awareness and contemplation, where the echoes of the past are tangible in quiet ways. Guests often find themselves pausing, listening, and observing with heightened attention, attuned to the building's hidden rhythms. The shadows, whispers, and occasional movements are gentle yet persistent, offering a sense that the mansion holds more than mere memories. It carries the lingering energy of those who passed through its halls. Walking through the old Louisiana governor's mansion, from offices to hallways, gardens, and reception rooms, the visitor encounters a living narrative of history, politics, and human presence. The subtle signs of the unexplained, cold spots, murmurs, shifting shadows, serving to deepen the connection to the past, creating an immersive experience that resonates long after leaving. The mansion is a place where the stories of governors, staff, and visitors are intertwined, with a quiet, lingering presence that cannot be fully explained, yet is deeply felt. In the end, the old Louisiana governor's mansion stands as a bridge between past and present. It offers a glimpse into the lives of those who shaped Louisiana's history, while inviting reflection on the echoes that remain in the physical and intangible spaces of the building. The experience is at once informative, contemplative, and mysterious, leaving visitors with a sense that the mansion, in all its elegance and authority, continues to watch, whisper, and remember. The LaLaurie Mansion in New Orleans stands as one of the city's most notorious historic homes, its grandeur overshadowed by a dark and disturbing past. Nestled in the heart of the French Quarter, the Mansion's elegant façade masks the horrors that once took place within, leaving a lingering presence that continues to draw attention from visitors and paranormal enthusiasts alike. A dark and disturbing past continues to draw attention from visitors and paranormal enthusiasts alike, leaving a lingering presence that continues to draw attention from visitors and paranormal enthusiasts alike. That continues to draw attention from visitors and paranormal enthusiasts alike. From visitors and paranormal enthusiasts alike. And paranormal enthusiasts alike. As one approaches the mansion, there is an undeniable sense of foreboding. The architecture, once a symbol of wealth and sophistication, now seems to carry an air of sorrow and menace. The shadows of the evening stretch across the building, giving the impression that figures move behind curtained windows, silently observing the living. Passers-by often report feeling chills along the street, as if the house itself warns them to tread carefully. The shadows of the evening stretch across the building, giving the impression that figures move behind curtained windows, silently observing the living. Inside, the atmosphere shifts in ways that cannot easily be explained. The grand entryways and ornate rooms evoke the elegance of a bygone era, yet the air feels heavy, saturated with memories of suffering. Visitors describe sudden cold drafts, footsteps echoing in empty hallways, and the sensation of being watched from unseen corners. Doors occasionally creak open or shut on their own, and furniture seems subtly displaced as though moved by unseen hands. The mansion's hallways are particularly unsettling. Shadowy forms have been glimpsed out of the corner of the eye, figures that vanish when looked at directly. Whispers drift through rooms, indistinct yet insistent, vanishing when one attempts to focus on their source. The sense of negative energy is almost palpable, a pressure that can cause unease and even fear in those sensitive to their surroundings. Rooms that once housed the family now carry echoes of the past that visitors cannot ignore. The sensation of something unseen brushing past is common, and the cold spots intensify in certain areas, as if the very walls remember the anguish once inflicted. The mansion's staircase, elegant and sweeping, becomes a corridor of tension when explored alone, footsteps echoing without origin and shadows appearing on walls where no one stands. Even the exterior of the mansion holds traces of its haunted reputation. Windows seem to reflect movements that are not there. And the wrought iron balconies appear to host invisible figures watching silently. At night, the combination of the mansion's darkened silhouette and the quiet streets of the French Quarter creates an unsettling scene, as if the building is suspended between the past and present. Intense disturbances, capturing sudden temperature drops, fleeting shadows, and inexplicable sounds, moving through the halls or appearing at windows. Or the sensation of being followed through the rooms, even when they are completely alone. But relived through subtle, unexplainable phenomena. The Mansiona's legacy is intertwined with the dark deeds that occurred there. It is impossible to separate its architectural beauty from the stories of suffering and cruelty that linger in its walls. Visitors often leave with a sense of awe and discomfort, aware that the Lalaurie mansion carries a history that refuses to be forgotten. Every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of light, and every shadow cast in its rooms contributes to an atmosphere thick with memory and presence. Every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of light, and every shadow cast in its rooms contributes to an atmosphere thick with memory and presence. Visitors often leave with a sense of awe and discomfort, aware that the Lalaurie mansion carries a history that refuses to be forgotten. Exploring the mansion is more than a visual experience, it is an encounter with the unseen. The sensations that permeate the house are subtle yet persistent, suggesting that the spirits of the past are still very much present. Whispers, sudden chills, and glimpses of shadowy figures serve as reminders that this is a space where the line between the living and the departed is blurred. For those who visit, the Lalaurie mansion leaves a lasting impression. It is a place where the echoes of past suffering and the weight of historical events are felt, alongside the beauty of its design, but linger in the very air and walls of the places where they occurred. The mansion reminds us that some histories are not confined to books or stories but linger in the very air and walls of the places where they occurred. As one walks away from the mansion, the sense of being watched often persists. A subtle reminder that some spirits do not rest easily. The Lalaurie mansion continues to captivate and unsettle. A testament to a history that is both fascinating and deeply unsettling. It is a place where the past is never truly gone, and where visitors are left with a profound awareness of the enduring presence of those who once inhabited its halls. The French Quarter itself seems to acknowledge the mansion's weight, as stories and whispers of its haunted reputation circulate among locals and travelers alike. It stands as a reminder of how history, architecture, and the human experience intertwine, creating a space where the echoes of the past are as tangible as the present. Every visit to the Lalaurie mansion is a journey into the unknown, a confrontation with history, and an encounter with the spectral traces that refuse to be forgotten. The St. James Hotel in Americus, Georgia stands as a silent witness to more than a century of history, hosting guests from all walks of life while guarding secrets that have made it one of the most intriguing locations in the American South. Built in the early 20th century, the hotel has seen periods of opulence and decline. Beneath the surface of polished wood, crystal chandeliers, and ornate furnishings, where whispers of the past linger, and where the presence of former owners and tragic guests is said to remain. From the moment one steps onto the hotel's veranda, there is a palpable feeling of history and anticipation. The large lobby welcomes visitors with its marble floors and richly detailed woodwork, yet there is a subtle tension, a sense that the air itself carries memories. Many who spend time here report fleeting glimpses of figures in period attire, moving through corridors or standing silently by staircases. These apparitions appear and vanish without explanation, leaving an impression that the hotel is more than a bodega, it is a keeper of stories and spirits. Throughout the hallways, doors open and close on their own, sometimes in rapid succession, sometimes slowly as if moved by invisible hands. Guests walking the corridors at night describe hearing the faint creak of footsteps following them, though when they turn, the space behind them is empty. The subtle sounds of movement, whispers, and occasional laughter seem to originate from the walls themselves, echoing the lives and emotions of those who once walked these halls. Certain rooms in the St. James Hotel have become well known for their spectral activity. The guest rooms, with their antique furnishings and historic charm, often host phenomena that defy rational explanation. Patrons have felt sudden chills, even in the warmth of summer, and some report the sensation of being touched or lightly brushed by unseen presences. These moments are brief but intense, leaving visitors with a mixture of curiosity and reverence for the history that surrounds them. The lobby, a place of grand gatherings and social events in its heyday, carries a unique energy. Visitors have described seeing figures standing at the edge of the room, observing quietly before disappearing when approached. The echo of long-past conversations seems to linger in the corners, subtle murmurs that disappear when attention is focused, yet leave an undeniable sense of presence. The chandeliers above, while magnificent in their craftsmanship, sometimes sway gently without wind, adding to the sense that the building itself is alive with memories. The exterior of the St. James Hotel adds to its mystique. At night, shadows stretch across the grounds, and the glow of interior lights creates a stark contrast against the dark sky. Guests strolling the pathways often describe the sensation of being watched. A quiet awareness that unseen eyes are observing. Occasionally, fleeting figures appear in the windows, only to vanish when seen directly, leaving a lingering impression that the line between the past and present is remarkably thin here. Staff members and long-term visitors share their own accounts of the unexplained. Objects sometimes move without cause, faint sounds echo through empty hallways, and the feeling of a presence often accompanies those walking alone. While some dismiss these events as coincidence, the consistency of reports over the decades suggests a continuity of energy. A subtle reminder that the lives and emotions of former residents and guests have left a lasting imprint on the hotel. Exploring the St. James Hotel is an invitation to step into a space where history and the supernatural intersect. Each room, hallway, and common area offers a window into the past, allowing visitors to experience the lingering presence of those who came before. The blend of elegance, historical significance, and paranormal activity creates an atmosphere that is both enchanting and haunting, drawing the imagination into a world where reality and memory intertwine. Guests often reflect on their experiences with a sense of awe and contemplation. The glimpses of figures, the sounds of footsteps, and the inexplicable movements of doors and objects evoke curiosity and wonder. They are reminders that the hotel is more than just a place to stay, it is a repository of stories, emotions, and energies that transcend time. The St. James Hotel is alive with these subtle signs, offering encounters that are as captivating as they are mysterious. For those who spend time within its walls, the St. James Hotel provides more than an overnight stay. The St. James Hotel offers a journey into history and the unknown, a chance to witness a space where past and present coexist. Every step, every sound, every shadow becomes part of an ongoing dialogue between the living and those who remain in spirit. The apparitions, sounds, and fleeting phenomena serve as a bridge between eras, allowing visitors to engage with the legacy of the hotel in a deeply personal way. Every step, every sound, every shadow becomes part of an ongoing dialogue between the living and those who remain in spirit. The St. James continues to captivate the imagination of all who enter the St. James continues to captivate the imagination of all who enter the St. James continues to captivate the imagination of all who enter the St. James continues to captivate the imagination of all who enter the St. James. Continues. 2. Captivate the imagination of all who enter the St. James. Continues. 2. In every shadow, in every whisper, and in every flickering light, the St. James Hotel tells its story. It is a story of history, of human experience, and of the unseen presence that continues to weave through its halls. Those who enter become part of this living narrative, experiencing a space where elegance and mystery meet, and where the past is never truly gone. The hotel stands not only as a monument to a bygone era, but as a living, breathing entity, holding the echoes of its history in quiet, haunting ways. For all who dare to explore its storied halls. Rising in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, the Cecil Hotel stands as a monument to both glamour and tragedy. Its grand exterior hints at a storied past, yet within its walls lie shadows that refuse to be forgotten. For nearly a century, the hotel has witnessed the comings and goings of countless residents and visitors, some of whom have left behind more than memories. The atmosphere inside the hotel carries an unmistakable weight. Guests report feeling watched, as though unseen eyes follow their movements down long, dimly lit corridors. Footsteps echo in empty hallways, a rhythmic sound that seems to trace the presence of someone unseen. Doors creak open and close without warning, and the air occasionally shifts with a cold draft that seems to emanate from nowhere. Visitors and staff alike recount encounters with figures that vanish when approached. Shadows linger in corners, remaining just out of reach of perception, yet their presence is undeniable. Some describe fleeting glimpses of former residents, while others feel an invisible touch, a light brush against the skin that evokes both curiosity and unease. The sensation is not threatening, but it carries the unmistakable weight of something beyond the ordinary. The history of the Cecil Hotel adds layers of tension to every experience. Built during a time of ambition and expansion, the hotel was intended to serve as a beacon of sophistication. Yet its story quickly became entwined with tragedy. Reports of mysterious deaths, disappearances, and inexplicable events have accumulated over decades, each leaving a spectral imprint upon the building. Guests often remark that the air feels charged with these unseen remnants, as though the past refuses to rest quietly. Walking through the hotel, one can sense the duality of its existence. On the surface, it functions as a place of lodging and business. Beneath, however, it seems to exist in another dimension where time is fluid, and echoes of past lives replay subtly in the background. Visitors describe moments when the ordinary merges with the extraordinary. A sudden flicker of movement at the edge of vision or the whisper of a sound that cannot be traced. Rooms, hallways, and stairwells seem to hold their own memories. Light fixtures sway gently despite still air. And the faint hum of activity can sometimes be heard even in the absence of any human presence. Elevators pause inexplicably between floors, and keys appear to turn in locks without touch. Every corner of the building offers the potential for an encounter. A subtle reminder that the hotel is alive with unseen observers. The Cecil Hotel's reputation as a site of hauntings draws those who are curious about the unknown. Paranormal investigators and thrill-seekers alike have ventured into its rooms in search of evidence. Many report recording sounds that defy explanation, capturing whispers and footsteps that seem to exist outside the realm of the natural. Photographs sometimes reveal shadows where none should be, adding to the growing tapestry of stories that surround the hotel. Despite its dark history, the hotel continues to operate. A testament to both its resilience and its allure. The presence of past residents and victims is felt in subtle ways. Through unexplained occurrences that spark a mixture of fascination and apprehension. Each encounter, whether a fleeting shadow, a soft murmur, or a cold draft, contributes to the narrative of a place where life and memory intertwine. Exploring the Cecil Hotel requires a heightened awareness of the environment. The building's architecture, with its long corridors and hidden alcoves, amplifies the sense of mystery. Light falls unevenly, casting shadows that seem to move with purpose. Sounds echo and refract in ways that make it difficult to distinguish between the ordinary and the paranormal. Visitors often find themselves questioning their own perceptions, caught between what they know and what they feel. For those who linger in its hallways, the hotel offers a unique encounter with the past. The spirits of those who once walked these floors, whether residents, employees, or visitors, appear to maintain a presence that is both subtle and persistent. The phenomenon is not always overt or aggressive, yet it is undeniably present, manifesting through whispers, movements, and sensations that remind all who enter that some histories refuse to remain buried. By the time guests leave the Cecil Hotel, they carry with them a sense of the extraordinary. The Building's ghosts, the remnants of countless lives and stories, linger in memory long after the final door is closed. Each visit becomes part of an ongoing narrative, a blend of history, legend, and experience that continues to unfold within the hotel's walls. The Cecil Hotel remains a symbol of mystery in the heart of Los Angeles. It is a place where the ordinary and the extraordinary coexist. Where the past continues to speak through shadows, sounds, and subtle sensations. Every hallway, room, and stairwell tells a story, inviting those who enter to witness the lingering echoes of lives once lived. And the spirits that continue to roam the building. Silently observing, eternally present. The Babcock-Smith House in Westerly, Rhode Island, stands as a testament to early American architecture. Built in the 18th century, the house has witnessed generations of activity, domestic life, and the quiet passage of time. Its grand wooden floors, high ceilings, and carefully preserved details speak of an era long past, yet many who visit sense that the walls retain more than just history. From the moment one steps inside, there is an atmosphere that is at once stately and quietly unsettling. The wide hallways and wooden staircases carry the echoes of footsteps long gone, and visitors often describe an inexplicable chill in certain rooms. Cold spots appear suddenly, as if the temperature itself remembers the presence of those who once lived here. Whispers, faint and unintelligible, seem to drift along the corridors, giving the impression that unseen residents are observing, guiding, or simply moving through the space. The atmosphere is oppressive and foreboding. Shadow figures have been reported moving along the hallways. Their presence fleeting but undeniable. Some have felt a brush of air against the skin, or a sense of being watched while exploring rooms that were once private chambers or servant quarters. These subtle yet persistent experiences suggest that the house retains the imprint of the lives that shaped it. The Babcock-Smith House is more than just a structure, it is a living archive of human experience. Each room tells a story through its furnishings, paintings, and architectural details, while the unexplained phenomena add a layer of mystery that connects the past with the present. The main hall, with its polished floors and elegant molding, has long been a place where footsteps seem to echo with a life of their own, and soft whispers can be heard even when the house is otherwise empty. Visitors often find the servant quarters particularly evocative. Once the heart of domestic labor, these spaces now seem to carry the weight of years of service and dedication. Shadows are reported moving silently along the walls, and some have experienced the sensation of unseen hands passing over objects or guiding them gently. The house seems to preserve these echoes, allowing the stories of those who lived and worked here to continue to resonate with those who enter. The dining room and parlors offer another dimension of the house's haunting presence. Here, faint movements can be felt near chairs and tables, and visitors sometimes notice objects slightly out of place after walking through the room. The atmosphere is not threatening but deeply immersive, evoking a sense that the house itself is a participant in the unfolding of its history. Even in the light of day, the rooms hold a subtle tension, a sense that the past is watching, waiting, and quietly communicating through the ambient sensations that cannot be explained. The exterior of the house complements its mysterious interior. The surrounding gardens and trees create long shadows as the sun sets. And the air carries the faint scent of history in every breeze. At night, the house takes on a different character, the outlines of its windows and doorways casting long, mysterious shapes. Many visitors report hearing soft footsteps on the porch or the faint creak of shutters moving against the wind, even when the grounds are empty. These small but distinct phenomena enhance the sense that the Babcock-Smith house exists in a space that bridges the past and present, the tangible and intangible. Walking through the house, it becomes clear that the haunting is subtle and layered. It is not about startling experiences or overt manifestations, but about an enduring presence that can be felt, sensed, and contemplated. Each room, hallway, and staircase offers a quiet reminder that the lives of the house's former owners and servants continue to leave an imprint. Their routines and interactions preserved in echoes, cold spots, and fleeting shadows. The house encourages observation, reflection, and a heightened awareness of the environment and the history that inhabits it. The Babcock-Smith house is a place where history and the unexplained coexist in harmony. Guests often find themselves pausing, listening to the faintest sounds, or noticing movements that seem almost imperceptible. The whispers, shadows, and cold spots are never overtly threatening but leave a lasting impression, offering a connection to the people who once lived, worked, and moved within these walls. The house tells its story not just through artifacts and architecture but through the subtle, persistent presence of those who remain a part of it. In the end, visiting the Babcock-Smith house is an experience that engages both the mind and the senses. It provides a glimpse into the past while allowing the present to feel the weight of history in ways that are both tangible and mysterious. The house's haunting is a quiet, contemplative phenomenon, inviting reflection on the lives of those who came before, their routines, their challenges, and their enduring presence. The experience lingers long after leaving, a reminder that some places do more than hold historia, they carry the essence of those who lived within them. They carry the essence of those who lived within them. Quietly watching, whispering, and moving through the corridors of time. A reminder that some places do more than hold historia, they carry the essence of those who lived within them. Historic houses carry the weight of time, memory, and emotion. Every creaking floorboard, flickering light, and cold draft is a reminder that the past never truly leaves. Next time you walk through an old mansion or historic house, remember these tales. Would you dare to explore a dark hallway, knowing spirits of the past may be watching? Some houses offer more than architecturia, they offer glimpses into mysteries and histories that still haunt the living.